going to work. Just sort of pause there for a second. I'm pretty excited actually. My comic is now live on Kickstarter. So hopefully this is working. I don't see anyone here, but hopefully it's working. Um, I appreciate everyone that has come. If this doesn't work, I might have to redo it. I'm not sure what's going on. Um, let's see. Okay. For a second there, the live stream wasn't showing people, and I was like, oh no, something's wrong. Um, so if you guys can hear me and everything's working, just tell me in the comments so that I can know. I'm going to show you some pretty cool books. I'm going to show a little bit of a teaser for the comic, and I'm going to give you guys something for free. Well, kind of free. I'll explain that as well. So there's a bunch of stuff. Just tell me if you guys can see me and hear me in the comments. That'd be great. But I'm going to show you some pretty cool stuff. Just because this should be a party. This should be a fun thing. My Kickstarter is now live. If you look at the description for this video, in there is a link to my Kickstarter. Go over there. Anyone that pledges in this live stream, and by tomorrow, I'm giving like a 2-day grace, gets a free comic. Free exclusive comic that only people that use the link that's in the description for this video can get. That's it. The only people. So that's the only way you can get the exclusive comic, is through the link in the description for this video. So if you do that, you get like a free comic. Pretty cool. Exclusive, probably like less than, I don't think it'll be like a massive number of pledges from this video, so I imagine it's going to be a pretty exclusive comic. It's a secret variant, so I don't even know what it's going to look like. So I don't know. It's going to be pretty cool, but it's you have to use the link that's in the description for this video to go over to the Kickstarter to see that, to get the exclusive. It's only, we don't even tell anybody. The link does even say it. It's the dumbest thing, but if you order, you get it. I don't know how it works, tell you the truth, but that's how it works. It's like weird. So the way it's like, if you watch my other videos where I kind of gave a brief explanation of the comic, I kind of went into what it kind of looks like. And the way it's going to be me promoting the Golden Age comic characters. The female characters, because I like the female characters. And the way it is it's called Vixens of the Golden Age. And basically, it's a comic where you get to see all the well, not all of them, but 14 different female characters. And I'll even tell you which characters you'll see in there. And the way it works is kind of a mixture of Dungeons and Dragons. If you're familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, back in the day, they would have like these Dungeons and Dragons manuals, and you could, basically see like all the different monsters, and they would have like stats like strength, intelligence, and all this kind of stuff. And we kind of did it like that, where you get to see like a profile of the character, and then it has like all the stats of the character, where they made the first appearance, like their like superhero name, real name, all that stuff, who the creators are, and then it has their bio, kind of like their origin story, kind of all written up. That's the first page for each character, and then the second page is a pinup, just a sexy, fun pinup. So it's like mixture of like that monster manual plus swimsuit issue, I guess. The best way to describe it. It's like a pinup plus monster manual thing. So it's going to be pretty cool for that. I got some really amazing artists involved. Like I got a partner that's involved with this as well, and he basically got some really amazing artists involved, like Larry Wells, George Weber, and a whole bunch of others that are just amazing, that did some pretty cool artwork for this comic. So I'm going to show you some of the artwork that I have, that I got printed out. and it kind of gives you a sense of the stuff that's inside. We got first is Larry Wells, and he did Cherry Pop Tart. So this is like Cherry Pop Tart meets Bullet Girl. So it's like you got Bullet Girl kind of style with Cherry Pop Tart. If you're not familiar with Cherry Pop Tart, I'm going to show you a Cherry Pop Tart. Here's Cherry Pop Tart. See, it's almost like Bullet Girl plus Cherry Pop Tart. So it's kind of a fun mix of characters. But yeah, so it's a bit sexy. You can see she's kind of sexy, and but cute. So that's the kind of level. And then we got another really cool Golden Age female character, the Black Cat. Now I just printed these off, right? So we got the Black Cat, and she's got a little kitten with her. This will be colored in the actual comic. And then we got George Weber, who did Rula. So if you're familiar with Rula, she was done by Jack Kamen and Matt Baker. And this is a nice bondage cover. It even has the Golden Age skull. Right there, you can see a skull and little native guys as well. Just all the classic tropes from the Golden Age. So this is what example of what a pinup will look like in the comic. And that's just some of the artwork. But I wanted to give you guys a sense of some of the characters that are going to be in this comic. So we got Sunny. If you're not familiar with Sunny, really cool character. I'm going to show you what she looks like. So this is Sunny. She's going to be in the comic. So this is one of the characters that's going to be inside the comic that I'm making. So yeah, so that'll be fun. So Sunny. And quickly, I'm going to just say hi to everybody in the chat. So hi, Matt. Hi, K Munin. Hi, Derek. Hi, Chico's Comics. Hi, Biggie. And hi, Dagar Cards. And hi, Stephen. So yeah, so basically the way it's going to work is that's one of the characters. Some of the other characters include Valkyrie is another character that's going to be in the comic. If you're not familiar with Valkyrie, you should be, because Dave Stevens actually did an homage to Valkyrie. And the weird thing is, inside my comic, it's going to be like an homage of an homage. It's very similar to the Dave Stevens one, strangely. So yeah, so it's a really, really cool character that as well in this comic. And who else? I mentioned Rula. It's going to also have the Black Cat, which I mentioned. And then another character that's kind of a cool one that's going to be inside, and it's so cute. The art for it, if you go over to the Kickstarter, you'll see what I'm talking about. But the character is Moon Girl. And it's this is Moon Girl's first appearance, actually. This and Happy Hooligans is her first appearance. And so this is another character, but the artwork that we did for it is really, really funny. It is just so cute. You got to see it. Go over to the Kickstarter and see it, because it is really cute what we did with Moon Girl. So just really, really, really great stuff. It is like, actually, the Moon Girl, in my opinion, some of the best, like the best. So thank you, Collecto6. Yes, everyone go over there, check it out. Be really worth it. As I said, anyone that uses the link from this video, it's a launch party. So anyone that uses the link from this video gets a free comic if they buy, any physical comic. So you can't just do the digital. That doesn't get you anything. But if you buy like any of the comics, you get a free exclusive comic. So that's cool. So if you use the link from this video, I actually shared the link with a few people before I did this live stream. So Matt, you'll get the exclusive. Steven, you'll get the exclusive. I'm sure like it's not going to be like a million people doing the Kickstarter. So imagine these exclusives probably will be less than 50. So they're really, really exclusive. When I say exclusive, I mean exclusive. Actually, Stephen picked up one of the pieces that's really amazing. There's actually very limited original like actual art available from this comic, and there was only one piece that was available to the public. And Steven was the one that picked it up. He acted quickly, he picked it up. So he gets the exclusive original art for the Rula, which is pretty no, is it Rula? I think yeah, it was Rula, I believe. So really cool. Or was it Rula, or I think it was Judy actually that he got the exclusive for. He got one of the I think it was Judy of the Jungle. So that's another character that's going to be in this one. Um, Another character that's going to be inside of the comic will be one that I really, really like, and this is her one of her cover appearances, and it is Rio, Senorita Rio, who's just a really cool character. Let me take this out of the bag so you guys can see the character a bit better. Just a brilliant character. Let me show you what she looks like. And she's in the comic, and her splash page is really, really cool. So yeah, just a bunch of fun stuff happening in this one. So this is one of the characters that will be in the comic. And who else? Oh, one of Steven's mine favorite characters, Lady Luck, is going to be in the comic. And actually, Steven, who gave me a very cool Lady Luck doll, so she will be inside the comic as well. I forget who did the Lady Luck splash page, but it's a cool splash page. So yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff happening inside. Other characters are Tara the Pirate. Now, Tara the Pirate, do I have a picture of her? Was done by Alex Schomburg originally, and so she'll be in the comic. And Miss Mask, one of my favorite characters, another Alex Schomburg character, will be in the comic. And her splash page is just looks kind of reminds me of like some kind of comic like typical like comic action pose thing going on. That one was pretty cool. And who else is in here? So oh yes, Sky Girl. So I don't have a good copy. Like, you know what's funny? In the Golden Age, they didn't actually show Sky Girl on the cover, but this is the first appearance of Sky Girl. This is not Sky Girl. Sky Girl is a really cool character done by Matt Baker, and just a really phenomenal character. Well, she's going to be in the comic. Um, that'll be that'll be she'll be one of the cool characters in the comic. This is her first appearance. So I don't I don't even know what oh, thank you by the way, Steven. Thanks for the super chat thing. I really appreciate it. Every penny helps potentially fund the next Kickstarter. So that's really what this is all about. At the end of the day, it's not. I don't expect to make money from this. I expect to pay for another another comic to go out, and that's really my whole goal here. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. So I'll run through the list again. It's Sunny, Valkyrie, Rula, Black Cat, Moon Girl, Sky Girl, Bullet Girl, Miss Mask, Rio Rita, Lady Luck, Miss Fury, Judy of the Jungle, Tara the Pirate Queen, or Space Pirate, and then Princess Panther. So a bunch of Alex Schomburg characters. I really like Alex Schomburg. So and a bunch of other really cool ones. So those will all be in the comic. And this is actually the original script for the comic. So there's actually a fairly long script. But it's really going to get into each of the characters, and you're going to get to learn everything about them. The other cool thing about this is not just a one day thing. I wanted to kind of make that clear to people. So what's going to happen is there's going to be actually mystery mystery stretch goals that are going to happen. So the Kickstarter has already hit its funding requirement, and what's going to happen is once it goes beyond, like as it gets further and further beyond that stretch point, the goal, it's going to actually, we're going to actually release exclusives. So you got to watch it. There's going to be exclusives. And when I say exclusives, I mean like 10, 10 in existence kind of thing, or even 5 in existence kind of level. So we're gonna put out some other things that will happen throughout the month. It's only gonna last a month, and once it's done, it's done. And then from what I've seen in the past with these Kickstarters, is what we'll do is we'll print, I think, less than 100 kind of level of the books. Um, but once they're printed, anything that doesn't sell through the Kickstarter will be going out through a different method. And that different method will, the price basically triples. From what I saw, usually it's even 5 times what the price is through the Kickstarter. So the Kickstarter might be like 20 bucks. Well, through this other thing, it's like $100. So just so you're aware, but throughout the month, we're going to be putting out different bonuses and stuff. So each, I think every like threshold, we are gonna like give like free stickers or free like, free little things, and there's gonna be exclusive variants that are gonna drop during this Kickstarter. So there should be some fun things throughout the month. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'm not even sure what they are. Like that's how cool this is. Like I don't even know what some of these exclusives are going to be, because some of the artists are going to give us maybe some bonus artwork, I'm hoping. And so there might be some really cool things dropping that I'm not even aware of yet. So there's just so much fun things going to happen for this month. I'm pretty excited that this is now live. Um, yeah, it's currently at 1196. That's not bad. It's not bad for like it launched I think 2 hours ago. So yeah, so not bad, not bad for the first 2 hours without even promoting it. Hopefully other people will promote it. There are a few that I would recommend if they haven't sold out already. There's the $99 one, the $99 item, where you get, I think it's 5 covers and an exclusive secret variant, which is kind of cool. I don't even get, like, I was actually asking him, why are we doing this? This doesn't make sense. It's actually, you're basically giving away a super exclusive book that's only one of 15. It didn't even make sense. I was like, this is a bit of a big giveaway for the fact that they just buy the set. I thought it was a little bit crazy, but that's what they're going to do. So uh, there's like extra exclusive thing, which is only limited to 15. I think it's already like 2 of them have already sold. I think Matt and Steven have bought one. I was actually I was thinking, should I buy it myself? So I don't think I can. So the thing is, yeah, that's cool. I think it's the golden, like it was something golden something offer. But that's a pretty cool exclusive. Um, not gonna lie, the Judy of the Jungle option caught my eye. See, Judy of the Jungle is pretty awesome. Um, there's some risque versions in there as well. I think we only have like 2 or 3 risque versions, to tell you the truth. Trying to keep this a little bit PG, but there are some risque variants that'll be available. Um, so yeah, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, so there, I think the Judy of the Jungle has a risque version. Yes, the Golden Showers bundle. So yeah, so that's the bundle that I recommend. If you're gonna buy any of these things, that's the one that's the best value, because you get 5 books and an exclusive, and because if you use the link below, you get a bonus as well. So it's like 2 free comics that are both exclusives. It doesn't even make sense, but it's a pretty cool offering. Um, what else can I tell you? Um, so yeah, if you guys have questions about the Kickstarter, please ask it. I know there are a few weird things with Kickstarter. One of the annoying things with Kickstarter is adding on stuff later is a bit tedious. That's one of the things that, oh, golden showers. Oh my goodness, I didn't even get the joke. Oh my goodness. Um, That's so funny. I thought I read it as yeah, that's so funny, Stephen. You got me. Okay. It's a golden something though. It's golden girls or golden something. Um, I wish I could share my screen with people. That'd be cool. But because I'm doing this through my phone, I can't share my screen. So it's kind of I think since we passed the 1,000 mark, yeah, I think people do get free stickers. And I'm not sure if there is like a free sticker of like my logo as well. I'm not sure if that comes in there as well. Yeah, the gold treasure chest. Thank you. Thank you, Derek. Um, so the gold treasure chest is the one I'd recommend if it's still available. I'm not even sure if it's still available, but last time I checked, it was like I think there was like 10 copies left. Um, Now, is there any way for me to get it signed by me personally? Probably not, unless you're in Canada. Because what'll happen is these are going to get printed in, I think, in the US, and then they get distributed after that. I'm not handling any of the distribution. Um, and what's going to happen is I'm going to get a few copies for myself of all the books. Those ones I can sign and, you know, send out to people afterwards, but that's probably like several months down the line, down the road before that'll happen. And it is something I will do if people want. I can sign copies and give them, you know, either sell those or give them away as giveaways for people that are subscribed to my channel. But that's later. Um, so I haven't figured out that part yet, to tell you the truth. Um, Any reason for Kickstarter over Indiegogo? The reason I chose Kickstarter was the guy that I partnered with. He's from Fivefinity, and he does a bunch of these Kickstarter campaigns. So he's familiar with using Kickstarter. So basically, that's the reason. I'm relying on his expertise of how to run a Kickstarter campaign. You know, I figured I wanted to partner with somebody that has that experience. I've done marketing campaigns with Kickstarter before on my own, but I kind of wanted somebody that has more of the comic book experience. And also, he also has his own network of people that are connected to Kickstarters that he's bought before or sold before. And those people will you know, be notified because we're using Kickstarter again. Okay. Okay. You have my address for signed copies. Sure. Um, Good afternoon, Alan. Silent watcher for almost a whole time you've been doing videos. Thank you. I wasn't sure about you and at the beginning, but you've grown on me. Oh, thank you. Become a favorite channel. I know. I'm not sure about me either, so don't worry. Uh, I appreciate your dedication. You never slack on daily content. Yes, I've been consistently doing daily content for almost 3 years now. I think it was 2021, 2022, somewhere around there where I started doing it daily. You never slack. So yeah. So what did you I ignore? Did I ignore somebody? I didn't mean to ignore anyone. Any Spider-Man girl you consider a vixen? Oh, I didn't see that. Sorry, Nata. Any Spider girl that you consider a vixen? Um, so I consider anyone that's kind of a cute girl to be a vixen, if that makes sense. So like Spider-Gwen in my mind, you know, if drawn correctly, is kind of a vixen. Um, so yeah, yeah, so there will be other characters if this is successful. I have like the next book already planned out and I'm already actually pretty much done. It's just a matter of getting the funding for it. So really, this Kickstarter funds the next one, if that makes sense. If it's successful, hopefully. Hi, O'Harris. So yeah, so the idea is that Oh yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I think it should be fun. It's like, what's not to love? Sexy girls in a comic. That's really that's really all the thing. Are Nomura and Sun Girl public domain? Um, I think Nomura is still got copyright through Marvel, but Sun Girl might be available. I had her on my list. Like I basically made a list, a master list, and I had over 50 girls on it. Like it was a pretty long list. Um, and I think Sun Girl was on it. It was just one of those ones where there are some, you got to be a little bit careful with Sun Girl because it's one of those ones where you have to draw it in the Golden Age style or you'll get flagged. So it's one of those ones that's a little bit careful, you have to be careful with. Another one like that was Phantom Lady that I really wanted to put in this comic, but it was one of those ones where I had to be careful, because they can be really really suey if you if you use a character that is currently popular or currently used by any of these big publishers. Um, Absolutely, Collectus. You are certainly a big part of what makes this channel so good. Thank you to Stephen. Um, I enjoy your humor, your pinball machines, and your books. So that's very nice of you to say about Stephen. Nobody likes me. It's just Stephen that they like. Oh, that's so sad. Okay, but yeah, Stephen has pretty cool pinball machines. Yeah, those are pretty awesome. Um, yeah, they will especially sue you if you make money on it. That is so true. So if this project is successful and you do something that's out of the public domain, you'll probably get sued by a bunch of people. Generally, the ones I picked are very open. They're public domain. They shouldn't have any issues that way. Um, yeah, well, that's I don't know. Uh, um, Yeah, it should be fun. Golden Age Vixens. That's basically the whole idea. So what I always think of is like Vixen as being something where it's like some girl, it's a bit sexy, bit fun. And if you look at the way the Golden Age characters were, Lady Luck is a great example. This character, Lady Luck. You know, whenever she like would get into her costume, her Lady Luck costume, she would basically she'd basically always get back, get into her lingerie and then put on her costume. It was just the funniest thing. That was kind of like a very common element to these girl characters in the Golden Age, where they would be a little bit sexy, and that's kind of what I thought was fun about them. That's kind of maybe the appeal of these characters, where they'd be a little bit sexy, a little bit, not like the modern characters. Like the Golden Age characters had sort of a trope around them where they were usually socialites, a little bit bored with their lives, that wanted to fight crime. That was like the if you look at pretty much most of the female characters from the Golden Age, that was kind of the trope that they kind of fit into. And it was just an interesting thing about them. But even with that, even though they had this kind of commonality, they could really do some fun things with them. Yeah, like Klaus Norling loved the naughty transition panels. We think of Sailor Moon being like that, right? Where Sailor Moon goes from the little schoolgirl to like her Sailor Moon outfit, and there's like that transitional thing. Well, they really played that up in the Golden Age. And uh, these characters have a lot of that, and it's fun. So the comic will kind of definitely lean on that in the splash pages that I'll produce. Um, yeah, I like those sexy aspects of the Golden Age. Yeah, I mean it is there's a there's an old idea that old adage, sex sells. Well, it does. So definitely it is an important factor. So yeah, so just to rehash a little bit here, the whole plan is if people use the link that's in the description of this video, uh, there's a free exclusive comic. What that comic looks like, it will be a surprise even to myself. I don't know what no, I don't know what it's going to be, but it should be a pretty cool one. It's only to people that use the link that they get it, and it's free for whatever pledge above buying one comic, basically. Um, and yeah, the other cool thing is there will be rewards or as we hit certain goals, and there will also be exclusives that will be dropped as we go throughout the month, and that's the other cool thing. So I recommend if you watch the Kickstarter and see how it's doing, and hopefully we'll hit more stretch goals and we'll be able to give some more free things. That's kind of part of the fun of it all. And what else is there? But some of the artists involved, by the way, is we got Bill Mouse, and Larry Wells, uh, George Weber, and Larry Wells, and a few others that are really really great. So some really great artists involved with this. So um, the interesting thing I wanted to tell Stephen this was the George, not the George Weber, the Bill Mouse thing that he sponsored. All that money goes directly to the artist. So a lot of the money that we're collecting for this comic actually goes back to the artists. So not only are you supporting this channel and the future comics that maybe I'll create, but it'll also support the artists. So that's another cool thing with this whole Kickstarter that I've been doing. I've been trying to actually support the artists as well. Um, Bad Girl got so over the top sometimes. I felt yeah, a little bit. Good Girl, Golden Age, not so much from what I've seen. Yeah, they sort of would kind of balance it out. Like with the Golden Age, they would kind of be a little risque, but not, you know, too extreme. Whereas the Bad Girls of the 90s, they kind of went a little bit borderline. Like if you think of like characters like Barbed Wire or some of the others, they kind of went maybe a little more adult. Um, so one sec here. So in a sense, you can say anime slightly inspired the Golden Age. I'm not sure about that. Other way around, probably. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, as Stephen was saying, you're right. It's more cute than porny. Yeah. So just that's the thing I really like about the Golden Age. The characters are much more demure and innocent than, but at the same time, it's sort of like Archie. That's a good way to understand it. Archie has that kind of balance where, both Betty and Veronica, they're sexy. They're in their swimsuits or whatever, but it's like, so they're kind of playing that up, that sexiness, but at the same time, they're innocent. It's the weirdest thing. And I think that's really a good summary of the Golden Age girls. They got that kind of, sultry kind of look, but at the same time, not overt. Um, so yeah, that's kind of what I like about them. So I showed some of the comics of some of the characters. We got, uh, Rita Rio. I showed my Elle Felstein Sunny, and this is good example of that kind of like innocence, like and bit suggestive at the same time. You got the guy like in the background. This is like, look at his like the guy is like getting totally flashed. Just a really cute cover. So yeah, so this is a good example of Sunny. She's in the book. Um, and that's kind of the feel that I was trying to aim for these kind of fun, sultry characters. As Stephen said, soft spice. Maybe because I was a kid in the 90s, I found that the bad girl characters were more likable. I actually really, I was a big collector of the bad girls. I liked a bunch of them. I pretty much had all of them. Like I was a real big fan of Lady Death and Vampirella. Those were my two go-to characters. Um, And then I liked what's other ones? I liked the stuff that James Linsner was doing with Dawn. Um, there was a bunch of characters. There's so many that like the 90s really bad girls were sort of at their peak in the 90s. I really enjoyed that time for that. But I was a big Vampirella fan. I really liked Vampirella. And if maybe that's a future uh like potential for characters like maybe Silver Age in the future or something like that. But I don't know about that. But I hope that I can get through like the first maybe 5 books of these Golden Age female characters and Golden Age characters in general, and then maybe do different ages based on what's public domain. That's the only problem. Like the reason Golden Age is very convenient is the fact that most of the characters are public domain. Once they get into that non-public domain era, it gets a little harder to do. But it would be fun to have some of the modern characters as well as future editions. I really do have pretty big plans for this comic in the future. Uh, you turned 11 in the 1990. Okay, so you're a bit younger. So it was all about those bad girls. Yet today I'm kind of more into the classic good girl art style. Yeah, me too. You know, looking back at it, like I really did enjoy the classic 90s bad girls stuff. You know, it's like sexy over the top stuff. 90s were all about over the top in general. But I actually prefer the more innocent and kind of like fun, suggestive stuff of the golden age. Um, yeah, I really do enjoy it. That's why I collect a lot of artists like Matt Baker and Alex Schomburg, Al Felstein, and LB Cole. I mean, I have been gravitating more and more lately to the romance books because of the whole idea that the good girl stuff is just really quite nice and like more innocent. Yeah, I was also thinking about Archie 50 as well. I mean, that was really the book that kind of introduced me to Good Girl in many ways. Um, that was my first major Good Girl book that I ever picked up was Archie 50. And yeah, you know, I didn't think I never thought of Archie, strangely enough, as like a collectible. I never really thought of it that way. And I was like, oh, why would somebody spend like thousands of dollars on a comic from Archie? I just thought of them as being massively printed and just readily available. Um, and Archie 50 really changed my mind on that and made me understand, oh, these are kind of collectible and these are much cooler than I remembered them. Like I read Archie as a kid. So we would get Archies for, you know, like from my parents and we would trash them. They were just like mangled from when we read them and stuff. But I really did you know, rediscover Archie in after Archie 50, believe it or not. So Archie 50 was the book that really inspired me to start collecting Archie again in a way. Um, so yeah, I was way younger in the 90s, not even near 11 when I was introduced to comics. Interesting. So yeah, so I'm much older. In the 90s, I was just starting university and started university in 91. So just right at the beginning of what I call the plastic age, and that was a perfect time to you know perfect age to be at during the 90s because you're just at the beginning of the 90s and I was just at that perfect age university. You know, I didn't have much money, but I there was just so much available. It was a really great time to be a collector because I was away from my parents as well for the first time, and I could sort of buy the books that I thought were interesting instead of like the more Disney and Archie and stuff like that that they were buying for me when I was a kid. Um, so yeah, I think we were all younger in the 90s. Yeah, we were. I think that's how time works, actually. It's always great when you can get books from your youth. Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of the time we get kind of nostalgic for those times. Like, I have a feeling like, like right now there is that nostalgia for the 90s books. So, I always am amazed when certain books that I always consider dollar bin books have actually now got some value to them because people are going back and trying to collect them. So it is interesting. Uh, but I find that if you like the bad girls of the gold of the plastic age, like the 90s, then the next thing would be to go to golden age because that's where really, like, especially that era of like 1946 to 1949 of the golden age was like what many would consider the atomic age. But that era of 46 to 49 was the height of good girl comics. Just so many comics with great good girl stuff. And just as Stephen and I have mentioned many times, that good girl, once that era kind of ended in 49, um, the good girls got kind of put into everything. Like pre-code horror, oh, there'd be some sexy girl in it. Westerns, some sexy girl there somehow. All the comics kind of embrace that little element of good girl. So it was kind of an interesting thing. But really, as a collector, it's a rabbit hole that you can fall down, where you can just really, you know, discover this whole wealth of comics that have really amazing characters and just fun stuff. And that's really the whole purpose behind this comic that I'm putting out is to get you guys to go down a rabbit hole with me and experience the golden age and all these characters that I have grown to love. So, one sec here. Looking forward to reading the story you've worked hard on. So, as I said, it's origin stories. It's not like an original story per se. It's going to be these kind of pinups plus origin stories of the characters. But I think it's mainly about the art. It's mainly about the pinups. You don't have to be a reader to enjoy this book. You can just enjoy the art. Um, but yeah, it's going to be good that way. Um, those Jim Lee X-Men from '91 basically kicked off my comic buying. Yeah, I mean that was kind of the height of that plastic age feeling, where you get these massively printed X-Men books uh, with just insane numbers of them out there. And yeah, it was an interesting time. Interesting time. Um, that is why I gravitate more towards the more modern characters. Okay, okay. Um, so yeah, so I actually I find that I gravitate more to the golden age. I was telling somebody about this recently. Part of the reason I really like the golden age in terms of just eras of comics was when I first started getting into comics in general. I was a coin and mainly coin collector. And one of the things that always appealed to me within the coin collecting thing was that coins were old. I just like that old connection to history, connection to like the past. And the older the coin, the better. Like in my mind, my child mind, and I really like that whole era of the 40s. For some reason, I really kind of resonated with the 40s and 50s. I thought that was like a very cool style. So when I got into comics, I still I didn't really know about the golden age at that time, but once I experienced it, it was like, oh man, this is like the best of both worlds. My kind of like my love of history and my love of like just female characters in general. But that love of that connection to the past, and I really feel like comics act like little time capsules where you get this sort of connection to the past. Um, one sec here. So one sec here. My nostalgic books are from the 1958. Show the art again, Alan. Sure, I'll show the art again. Oh yes, speaking of rabbit holes, you bought more. See the zombie tramps. There's so many cool covers that you end up going down this like zombie tramp cool cover thing. Um, yeah, I did infect him. Um, oh, I went for the from the He-Man toys to GI Joe to comic collecting. Basically, my youth. Yeah, I could see that. Um, I do like the character Jamie Bell. Uh, she is fun and quirky. Yeah, really interesting. Yeah, you can purchase it right now. So the way the Kickstarter works, just so you know, I'll be showing the artwork again, some of the artwork, is you back it now, and once we it runs for about a month. Okay, so this whole Kickstarter lasts for about a month. Anyone that backs it will basically they're ordering the comics, and it goes through a print. Once we get all the orders, then we print it. And anyone that orders now probably will get the books in September. So it takes a few months. If you've backed Kickstarters in the past, you will know what I mean. But it usually takes a few months before you when you back it to when you actually get the comics. Um, so yeah, so it is one of those things where it takes time. It's just the way it is because the money that is being collected through Kickstarter is really to fund the printing of the comic. That doesn't cover all the other costs, but it does cover the printing. So I've dished out a huge amount of money for this comic. Like I'm pretty invested in this. I spent like about $5,000 actually, and my partner probably spent the same to produce this comic. That's how much it costs to get all the artwork and stuff like that. Um, so the goal is to really break even, maybe, and if we can make like double that, then we have enough to pay for the next one. So that's the way it works. So, Jeffrey, in the description for this video, if you look in the description, there is a link to the Kickstarter. If you use that link, you get a free comic when you purchase any of the Kickstarter. So yeah, as long as it's a physical copy that you buy, you get the link. You get a free comic, exclusive comic. Only the people that use that link get that exclusive comic. So it's in the link into the description of this video. So look for that link. I think I made it pretty easy to go to. Yes, and hi Fiddle Chips. So yes, so the link is in the description. Okay, so the link to the Kickstarter, see the description, it's right there, and you can fund it and do whatever you need. And if you have any issues, if anyone has issues with the Kickstarter, please tell me. This is where you tell me, and I will do my best to make it like more convenient or whatever I can to do to help you guys. Okay, so that's another thing. Like I'm not like, I want this to be successful. So I'll again show, I only have like 3 pages that I printed out. I wish I printed out more, but this is all I have handy. So sorry for that, but I will show you again. So we got Black Cat by Yonami. And it's like really cute. Remember, this will be colored in the actual comic. I think in the Kickstarter, they actually show this one and what it looks like colored. So you get to see what it looks like colored. But when I printed these off, I didn't have the colored version. I just had the black and white. So yeah, so that's that one. And then we got the George Weber. I thought this one was really cute. It's like, looks like the snake's about to eat her. And you got these little like voodoo guys in the background. I thought that was really cute, and the skull. I thought that was really lots of fun stuff going on in this one. And this one I really like. I actually was trying to get the original artwork for this one for myself. So this one is the Larry Wells one. I was trying to get Larry Wells to give me the original artwork, but he's like, no. So I don't know. I'm trying. I'm gonna hopefully get it. So yeah, so I'm hoping to get the original artwork for this for myself because it's pretty cool. Uh, just just so cute. I think it's really great. Um, yeah. So the way it works is you pledge now. Your card actually doesn't even get charged now, which is interesting. They don't charge the card, I think, until later, once the Kickstarter is completely funded and completely done, and then it charges everyone's card at once. Um, um, the sample of Black Cat is Harvey, Miss Fury. No, Miss Fury is a different one. So the Kickstarter interior of Black Cat is Harvey. Yeah, is Miss Fury artwork. I don't know. I don't think so. I think you are mistaken. One thing I noticed, but it might just be me, is that the link you put in your Instagram isn't actually a link. Has to do with your search channel. Okay, so yeah, so the Kickstarter link in Instagram is the same link. You just have to copy and paste it because Instagram is weird. It actually doesn't let you put links into posts. It's one of those annoying things from Instagram. I don't know why they do it that way, but they don't let you put links into your posts. So what you do is you put the link there, but then people have to copy and paste it into their browser. It is weird. It's annoying. But that's just the way that Instagram works. I can't really control that. Um, Oh, you just got here? Well, this is for my Kickstarter. I just launched my Kickstarter and I'm releasing my first comic book of many, hopefully, about Golden Age female characters. So it's Vixens of the Golden Age. And it's live now on Kickstarter, so you can go there. Yes. Yes. Very there is a camel in this toe. So yes. Uh bit of that. Yes. So extra sexiness, suggestive self. So yeah, I thought it was cute. Um Wonderful. So yeah, so I don't know. I thought it was a really cute version of Bullet Girl. I thought that was really, if Bullet Girl had like if Cherry Pop Tart and Bullet Girl had a baby somehow, if that was even possible, this is what Bullet Girl baby would look like. I don't know. So yeah, it's like I don't know. I thought it was really cute. Um, you bought multiple copies of all those books. I remember people having long boxes of X-Men 1. I totally remember that. And they were bragging about it. Oh, it was so obnoxious. It was like so funny. Like people would brag, oh, I bought 200 copies of X-Men 1. I'm like gonna be super rich. Um, well, with this Kickstarter, you could, this is one where uh it's not going to be like a million print run. So these are actually going to be pretty rare. I mean, you know, and part of the value behind these books, I think in the future is like how well this channel does and how well these Golden Age girls do. I have a feeling that these Golden Age characters are going to be kind of revisited. And we got to thank Taylor Swift for that. So Taylor Swift might be doing Blonde Phantom in the future, which would bring a lot of interest into these female Golden Age characters. And if that happens, who knows? These characters could become really popular again. So I'm really kind of hoping for that, actually, that these characters kind of make a resurgence. I've been talking about that for a while, that I've been really enjoying these characters, and I really hope that they do make a comeback. Um, yeah, I found like I bought a bunch, actually is a lot, where I got pretty much the whole run. Um Golden Age plus Cherry is a mashup I didn't know I needed in my life. Well, now you know. Now you know you needed it. Uh, okay. So yeah. So yeah, but Cherry Pop Tart's really great. Actually it's really interesting with Cherry Pop Tart. It's only the first couple of issues that were called Cherry Pop Tart. The later issues are called just Cherry because Kellogg's, Kellogg's being the company that creates Pop Tarts, actually sued, and they had to change the name to just Cherry. So I thought that was funny. Um, I distinctly remember all the hype around Angela when she first made her first comic book appearance. I remember that too with Spawn and Angela. They were like, "Oh, this is so huge," and I think they really introduced Angela just because bad girls were hot. Like that was like the big thing. So pretty much every comic that could would release some new character that was like had some sexiness to them. Like, so I remember Zorro. They came out with Zorro again. They brought Zorro back, and then the way that they did it was they had to bring in Lady Rawhide, or Lady Zorro as well. These characters that were just leveraging the whole bad girl thing. So yeah, it was quite funny. That was really really common. Even Evil Ernie, like this zombie character, they he had Lady Death. That was the even though it was Evil Ernie title, it was Lady Death that was the star. A lot of that stuff that happened. But Jim Lee's Rogue was my girl at the time. I like Rogue a lot. I mean, Rogue was really sexy back in the day. And just a really cool character. Which is the main cover. So there actually isn't a main cover. That's one thing that is a little weird about this book. It's there's like a mixture of like it's just basically a bunch of different covers. The way it works is the covers are really just the splash pages of the interior. So at the end of the day, so there is no A cover, B cover kind of thing. Um, but really, it's whatever cover you like is the main cover. So far, I think the one that's I'm not sure which you guys could check it. I'm not sure which cover is doing the best right now. Um, but the interesting thing is, in a way, the covers like I'd recommend getting all the covers personally, but that's just me. That's what I always do when I sponsor these silly Kickstarters. I always sponsor. I buy, I buy all the covers, but generally, what ends up happening is certain covers will do better than others, and the ones that don't do as well actually become rarer. So it's kind of interesting that way. Um, Linzer did a great job with Lady Rawhide. Yeah, she was pretty cool. And Witchblade was another big one. I really liked Witchblade as well. As a kid, the only two female characters that I ever caught my attention were Black Cat, okay, the Felicia Hardy, and Psylocke. I really like Psylocke, and I actually like the Black Cat as well. Um, this isn't really like the Who's Who, but Naughty. isn't isn't this really like the Who's Who but Naughty? Yeah, I mean these are like if you think about it, like that'd be actually another comic I'd love to create, or a book even that I'd love to create, is like all the cool like basically the top 100 female characters of all time based on sexiness. So there was one of the things that another way that I got into collecting these female characters was actually I found a list online that was just like the hottest female characters of all time. I forget who number one was. It was like one that I was a little bit surprised by. Um, like some of the ones that were at the top were Psylocke and Rogue, and Storm was up high, and like a bunch of those kind of characters. But then some of the Golden Age characters were up there, like Wonder Woman and Moon Girl, and all those ones were in that top 100 list. just it got me like going down so many rabbit holes trying to find all these characters' first appearances. Um, oh, thank you. Oh, cool. Very cool. Oh, yes. There's also the Yeagle card as well that's signed. So there are signed things inside here, but it's not by me. I can't. You're, oops. Wait. Sorry. Um, so yes, thank you, by the way, Trophy. And yeah, so this will be, it's like if you haven't experienced Kickstarter, I actually recommend like not just sponsoring mine. That's not what I was gonna say. I wanted to say like there's so many great Kickstarters. There are so many. Like, it's hard not to go down that rabbit hole where you can find some amazing stuff on Kickstarter. Where these are projects where either they're artist funded stuff or just like people that are creators like myself who put out a comic that just want to have their own comic. And there's some really good ones. There's some bad ones too, but there's lots of really great ones that are fun. I That's how I sponsor Zombie Tramp is through Kickstarter. That's how I get my latest issues of Zombie Tramp is through picking them up on Kickstarter. Yeah, so Lady Rawhide was like I remember back in the 90s, Lady Rawhide, their books were really expensive, like 20, $30. That like at that time that was a lot of money. But now I think you can get them cheaper, like $10 to $15. It's kind of funny how that works. Certain things that were really expensive in the 90s are not so expensive now. A lot of the books. I remember Spawn 1 was always on a wall book, for example. That was like 20 or $30, and you can get it so much cheaper now. Um, yeah, it's silly how things, uh, oh, thank you, by the way, Jeffrey. For, oh, yeah, I love your show, and Stephen too. Everyone likes Stephen. Oh my goodness. Um, so yeah, so that's really good. He's a great guy. I gotta give credit to Stephen. He's very good and very knowledgeable about history. So, um, but don't tell him that I think he's a good guy because I don't want him to get a big head or anything. Um, so yeah, um, yeah, but yeah, I enjoy actually our Mondays where we show some cool books and uh, do some really fun stuff. Steven's been buying up a storm, and he's gotten some pretty cool books. Many books from my shopping cart have been added to Steven's collection lately, and yeah, he's been showing some pretty cool stuff as a result. Yeah, so that's what I feel like too. It's fun to show cool books and talk about golden age stuff. Oh, hey, Bleecker. Uh, I'm glad that I really what the whole point of this channel is to share my passion for comics in general. But lately, I've been collecting Golden Age, so my passion about Golden Age is really kind of coming up. You'll see that if you watch my unboxings, and you kind of watch like it in like the different like the different segments, if that makes sense, like the different like there was always like whatever number of episodes in each series, right? You'll notice that each series represents me completing some little micro collection. So like previous or the one that's coming up, the one that's the newest unboxing that will happen next week is me really getting into Adam's Family, like buying New Yorkers and a whole bunch of things like that. You'll notice that little micro collection inside, and you'll also notice a lot of EC comics. So because I got into collecting like crime suspense stories, so you'll notice that kind of microcosm is inside the video. And then previous one was there was maybe one where I was into certain characters, and you'll just notice that throughout these videos where I will go through like a little like a buying spree of certain characters, certain rabbit holes that I've fallen into. Um, this next unboxing, like 2 months down the road, is a different, really interesting, going to be interesting one because some really interesting stuff that I've been picking up lately, stuff that I really didn't think I would have access to. And so, yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff happening with those unboxings that I'm doing. I'm hoping that I'll show people some of the rabbit holes that I'm going down and finding some really, really great stuff. Yeah, yeah, I wasn't sure what the shipping would be like to Canada. I think it's going to be pretty brutal. That's typical. It's one of those things. Whenever I sponsor these Kickstarters, you get killed on the shipping. It's part of the annoying thing about being in Canada. We have to pay huge shipping. So $12, by the way, fiddle chips is nothing compared to to living in Canada. It's just so much more expensive. Um, yeah, all the EC history is fascinating. I'm really drawn to that. Yeah, I mean, personally, I've been really going down this one, like, there's a channel that I like to watch. And what is it called? I'm just trying to remember the name of it. It's the Reaper. Um, and basically, what he does is he collects EC comics, and I think he has almost a complete collection of EC. Um, and I always liked EC before I even watched his channel, but I really um, gravitated to that history of the EC comics. And because I was buying SOTI books and a lot of the crime suspense stories were in SOTI or in the Senate hearings or whatever, I actually started gravitating to picking up all these like crime suspense stories. So I've sort of made it a little mission of mine to complete the run of crime suspense stories. So that's something that you'll see in future unboxings where I picked up a bunch of crime suspense stories. Hi, Jerry. Good to see you. So yeah, so I'm pretty excited. I'm launching my own comic. It's pretty cool thing. Yeah, I wish it was 12 for us too. I mean, that's one thing. Shipping in Canada is always brutal. Yeah, so Jerry, I actually invited you on Friday's show, but you didn't come. So there, I was sad. I was expecting you to come. So hey, Bigby. Bigby has been working really, really hard lately. I feel bad for the guy. He's like working like really long hours. Well, maybe we might make an exception for you on Monday if you want to come out on Monday. Maybe we'll make an exception that we usually it's just Stephen and I, but I would make an exception for you. So if you want to come out on Monday night, we can invite you as well to our show. But usually it's just Stephen and I. But it'd be cool to have you as well. Um, we missed your presence, Jerry. Yeah. Yeah. For the people that don't know Jerry, which I doubt anyone wouldn't know him, he's pretty awesome. Jerry has a great channel as well, where he does comic conservation, and it's just like he shows like the whole process. Like he's one of the only channels I can think of where he actually shows the whole process instead of like here's how to start it, and then they show like 20 minutes later like they don't show the whole process. I like that about Jerry's, where you see the whole process of how the restoration is done, and it's really educational. I find that very useful. And lately he's been doing these videos where he goes to random comic stores and says whether it's worth it or not to have gone to them. And I think that's pretty interesting too. So I've been enjoying his content for a while. Um, oh, I love, yeah, the interview that Jerry and I did was really good. We were just babbling for about 2 hours, because Jerry and I, we see eye to eye on many things. Um, and we collect a lot of the same stuff. It's kind of funny how that works. So yeah, Jerry and I both share a real interest in Captain Marvel comics. I mean, yeah, that's kind of like something I was really into for a while. And that was a rabbit hole that lasted quite a long time. And every so often I'll pick up some more Captain Marvel books. I always find them very cool. Just affordable, and you can get them in high grade sometimes, like for a reasonable price. I always love Captain Marvel. Just really cool books. I'm kind of going down this weird rabbit hole of Mary Marvel lately, so I really like Mary Marvel. Um, Sadly, it seems okay to be the case. The service is not getting any better though. What are you talking about? I'm trying to keep up with the chat. So if I missed your questions or statements, just tell me again. You just repeat it, okay? Um, okay. So yeah. So I hope that everyone can support this Kickstarter. Just so you know, use the link that's in the description. Don't search for it on Kickstarter. Don't do that, because if you use the link in this in this video, you get a free comic. Just use that link. That link is the cool link, okay? Because it's you know, it just shows that it came from this weekend, and you get a free comic. If you wait till Monday, there's no free comic. It has to be either today or tomorrow. That the link will still work. It just won't give you the free comic. So this is one of those things that my partner made available, and I was like, okay, I don't think my audience will mind getting a free comic. I don't think they'll mind. So I said, sure, we can do that. So yeah, so I'm putting it out there for you guys. It's only for today and tomorrow that it is active. Um, so you, yeah, take advantage of it, because you know, you get a free comic. I always like free stuff personally. Actually, you know, there's a funny thing in Korean. So I lived in Korea for 3 years. And in Korea, they say like, you know, if you love free stuff too much, you will go bald. I think it kind of it kind of works. I think that's the case, because I do really love free stuff. So I'm trying to get you guys to enjoy free stuff as well. Not maybe not necessarily go bald, but enjoy the free stuff by getting the free comic by using the link in the description for this video to go over to my Kickstarter and get a free comic. So that's the cool thing, where all you have to do is pick any of the options that are like a tangible book, and you get a free comic. So double your comics. So yeah. So if you guys have any other questions about the book, you know, free to ask. Or I'll wrap it up and just say, oh, Big B, I actually did get your packages. So just quickly, just for people that are watching, just you guys are all witnesses, and Big B, you can see this too. Um, I received your packages at my Stackery account, Big B, and I want to show you something. So down there, there's a big box, okay? In that big box, it's all bubble wrapped and double layered and stuff like that. That box is for you, Big B. So that's going your way once one thing arrives. I'm just waiting for t-shirts to arrive. So there's 2 t-shirts coming. I'm going to put those into that box and then send it off. So I'm just waiting. I know that the t-shirts are coming within the next few days. So I'm hoping next week at the earliest. But you know, so once the t-shirts arrive, I'm going to send that off. So I'm got one t-shirt for you and one for Steven. So you guys can each get a shirt. Free stuff. Oh yuck. Yeah, exactly. I love free stuff. It's fun to have free stuff. What's that here? Pledge now, folks. You aren't charged until they are printed. Good things take time. Select all your add-ons you want. Yes, that's important. So if you know, you're thinking about 2 or 3 different books, pick them all for now. You can remove them later, but the point is, if you pick them now, you lock it in, and that's important. And it's actually easier to um, uh, remove things than add on things. It's weird how that works. It's kind of annoying that way, but definitely you want to get the bundles if you can. Especially there's that one bundle, the gold bundle, that's really good. Um, okay, I'll take a look at the Black Cat one. It could be that the text has been mixed up. I'll double check that. Nothing's been printed yet, so that we can correct. So that if they have the wrong artwork with the wrong story, then I will get that switched, because that was probably just my partner not knowing the characters, and I will make sure that that gets fixed. So thank you, for Thomas, for pointing that out. I saw your comment about it, and I was actually going to check it myself after this. So don't worry, it will be the right thing when it's printed, but I'll definitely get that fixed. Yes, I did read his message. So yeah, so the point is, anything like that, I will get fixed. I'll be proofreading the comic before it gets printed anyways, but um, you know, that's probably just my the guy that I'm working with, the partner. He put it together, and you know, sometimes things get a little bit jumbled. He's not as familiar with the characters. So yeah, so I will make sure that the right content goes with the right artwork. That's very important. So don't worry about that. So I will definitely double check that. So everything will be beautiful when you guys get it. So I'm really hoping everyone enjoys the comic as much as I do. So yeah, so I've never done Kickstarter. It'll be, so yeah, so the $25 is just a one-time fee. So if you buy like a stack, it's still going to be around $25 for shipping. Um, I think that's just shipping to Canada is a little bit more expensive. It's one of the pleasures of living in Canada. We pay crazy shipping. So definitely one of the more annoying things about living in Canada is like the shipping from the US. But yeah, so it's a one-time though fee. So you can kind of bundle it up and get whatever you want. Uh, and as I said, as Stephen was saying, and as I was saying, you don't pay, like it's not like if you sign up now, you don't pay now. You actually pay once the Kickstarter is fully done, and then your card is charged, and then we do the processing, printing, and all that kind of stuff. And you probably get your books in, we're thinking in September range. Um, so yeah, you don't pay until it's totally funded and it ends. That's my point. Yeah. Right now, it's already totally funded, believe it or not. It's already hit the funding. It hit the funding within the first hour, strangely. Even before doing this video, it was fully funded. Um, so yeah. By the way, K-pop, I have a favor to ask of you. I'd love to come on your channel and promote this Kickstarter if I can, if you don't mind. I just a favor. I'd like to throw it out there. Or anyone else that has a channel and wants me to interview me so I can babble about my comic, I'd appreciate it. I want to get as much word out as possible. So yeah. Somebody throw me some shipping money. Oh man. Oh, thank you, K-pop. You're really great. By the way, if anyone hasn't checked out K-pop's channel, it's just like the best channel for promoting these kind of Kickstarter people, like people that are starting their own independent comics. Just really, really great stuff. Like she is like a treasure to the comic book community, because she really does her best to promote these like independent content creators, and I mean comic book creators. Just really amazing stuff that she's doing, and I really think she's awesome. Very underappreciated woman. So just a really great person. Um, the Kickstarter says July 8th. Yes. So the Kickstarter runs for 1 month. So it started today. So a month later is July 8th. And that's when the payment will actually happen. So yeah. Oh, hi, Canadian survivalists. Yep, K-pop rules. uh, I kid a lot, but Canada is cool. Thank you. Yeah. Canada, like it's got its it's got its issues, but hopefully we'll elect new issues. but it's a good country overall. Um, maybe I should make a K-pop vixen. Yeah. I don't think she's a golden age girl though, so she might not like that. But yeah, she's definitely got the vixen part. Um, so yeah, yeah, I appreciate everyone coming and hanging out with me for the last hour and some. Um, and yeah, I hope you guys check out the Kickstarter. You don't have to buy it or anything, but if you do, I really do appreciate it. And you get a free comic. Um, and I just really appreciate everyone that has come for with me for all these years that I've been doing this silly channel and trying to promote comics in general. I'm glad that people have come here. So hey, all congratulations on the successful book launch. Thank you, by the way. So yeah, and it's really, I really do appreciate everyone that watches my channel. I really do. I always think it's funny that people come here and hang out with me and just hang out and talk comics. I really do enjoy it. So thanks everyone. Again, I appreciate everyone hanging out. Yeah, it's now funded. But it needs, as I said, even though it's funded, it's really not funded. That's just the printing costs. Um, it's really the other costs that are involved. So in order to really get to that next level, it has to get to 20,000, which is a bit far away, but that's the goal. If it can get there, then it funds the next comic. So that's really my goal. Hopefully, I'll get to that goal. We'll see. Um, but yeah, I really do appreciate everyone hanging out with me, and I hope you guys do check out the Kickstarter. It should be a fun comic. Bye for now.